But you know, one thing about this lake, oh, there's one with them. Oh, I almost had two. There's a lot bigger one with them. Oh, eat it, eat it, eat it. He swirled on it. Oh my gosh. He's still, oh, we got it. I got them both, I got them both. Big one, watch out. Coming down. Stay on there, fish. Got them both, got them both. Stay on there, fish. Stay on there. Hey, we'll take it. The small one came off, but the big one got it. Oh my gosh, that was sick. One of the really cool things about being from East Tennessee is, man, there's really a lot of options when it comes to fishing. You can get really good at just about anything. You got deep, clear lakes that have, you know, big smallmouth and spotted bass, and you can get really good at finesse stuff. And then you got more shallow reservoirs that have lots of grass and have, you know, really good ledge fishing, and you catch largemouth, smallmouth, spotted bass. But I mean, you got about every catfish species. You got walleye and sauger, which are really good to eat and fun to catch. You have phenomenal trout fishing in this area. Definitely really thankful to grow up in a place like this where you have options, you know, where you can get good at a lot of different things. So it's midsummer. We're on a lake that I really don't have a ton of experience at. You know, it's somewhere way up in the mountains in East Tennessee. It's a deep, clear lake. You know, there's parts of this lake that are 250 foot deep, but just kind of the game plan for the day. There's largemouth, there's smallmouth, and there's spotted bass in here, so we can kind of pick our poison. But this morning, starting with one of the Yo-Zuri 3DB poppers. This is actually one of the new colors that's going to get released at ICAST this year. Just a really natural shad color. We're kind of at the tail end of the shad spawn, so just go with some natural shad colors. You got a very nice, you know, kind of a pearlish white bottom, and just going to throw it around some of these cypress trees this morning. Then even as the day gets up, you know, they're going to have a lot better shade line on a lot of these trees. So that's kind of the plan this morning. We'll see how it goes. So a big thing when fishing a standing timber field like this is figuring out if the fish are in, you know, 6 inches of water or if they're in 8 foot of water. You know, you got kind of a pretty wide range of depth in this area right here. But kind of my thought process this morning is, you know, the brim are probably going to be really shallow, so we definitely need to try some of these really shallow trees. But, you know, we are post-spawn. These fish, you know, do like to get in a little bit deeper water. So we're just going to kind of try them all. But what you'll usually see once we do start getting a few more bites is there will usually be a magic depth range. You know, it might be 1-2 foot today, or it might be out there in them 5 and 6 foot trees. We'll just kind of have to fish around and see. Something just shot out of there. Oh, that's a bass. Nice. Little guy. Alrighty, we're on the board. Not a giant, but hey, we just started. Throwing this Yo-Zuri popper, you know, there's usually a few type of retrieves I kind of use. The first one's just kind of a slow pop. And one cool thing about this Yo-Zuri popper is you can almost walk the dog with it. I mean, if you know, kind of work it quick with short pops, it'll really walk back and forth really good. And you know, if I'm searching for fish, that's something I kind of do, but my favorite way to work it, I'll throw it up there like next to a stick like I just did, pop it, and then just let it sit. I almost let those rings die out from around it, hit it a couple more times, and just let it sit. And I'm just kind of leaving it in the strike zone. You know, there's usually a lot of brim on bed this time of year as well. And just 1 or 2 quick pops where it really spits that water, makes a good sound, and just leaving it in the strike zone. And those come up, like that last one did, they'll just suck it down. We are about as far up in a creek or a river that you can run right now. You know, you got a lot of current coming through here, and this is a lake that really doesn't have a whole lot of current, so anywhere you got, you know, a lot of water flow is usually a good place. And then, you know, on the main lake, the water temp's about 80 degrees, but you get back in some of these places, it'll drop down to like mid-60s, which is definitely really good to do in the summer. And you know, the warmer it gets, July, August, when it gets really hot, this stuff right here gets super, super good. Right here. Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. Oh, he's all over it. Oh my gosh. That was almost really cool. There was 2 smallmouth right there, just cruising, yeah. It was wild. It's right down the channel. They weren't giants, but you know, like 15 inchers, good 2-pounders. That one, it swirled on it twice, but it didn't get it. Yeah, just keeping my eyes open, looking for any cruisers. This time of year, a lot of them big, largemouth and smallmouth will run to these cooler water places and you know, try to get out of the heat. And you know, there's a lot of oxygen, a lot of bait. I'm seeing some brim and little shad actually swimming around right now, and really picking apart a lot of these shade lines, especially. So any little ambush point for these bass to set up on. So that's kind of our thought process, and already seen a couple fish cruising. One swirled at this popper a second ago. Might pick up that Yo-Zuri pencil here in a second and just cover a little bit more water. You fish it a lot quicker. The pencil, if I'm trying to cover water, you know, fish stuff quick, you know, I like the pencil a lot. Or if, you know, I'm trying to draw fish up, usually from a, you know, a long ways down, usually the pencil is something I use probably a little bit more. The popper I really like around very isolated cover, whether it's, you know, a clump of grass, this instance it's trees, you know. I just like the popper because you can really leave it in one spot, whereas the pencil is more of a moving bait, or if, you know, I'm trying to get a reaction deal, you know, that Yo-Zuri pencil always kind of looks like it's trying to get away from them. And you can definitely slow it down too and use it around cover like I'm doing now. But that popper, I really like it when you're just fishing very isolated stuff. So just saw one roll on this tree in front of us, and just gonna make a few casts through there. And I'm gonna really work it slow. I'm gonna get a cast kind of to this left side first, and then probably make a cast right down the middle of it, honestly. But whenever I think there's a fish on a piece of structure like that, I really let it soak. Got him. Well, that was cool. Another little fish, but man, that was an awesome blow up. Got him. Oh, he threw it. There you go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, yeah, I want to get. Oh, what a bite. Oh, wow, that was awesome. Hey. Man, he followed it all the way out of there. It's actually a decent fish. He slapped at it, and those Yo-Zuri hooks are sharp, so he got him. But that was really, really cool. I actually saw a few fish up under that shade line, and I threw this Yo-Zuri pencil up in there. It's actually one of our new colors too. That's that ghost pearl shad color, which is absolutely beautiful. Got a very natural kind of brown back. That goes into a nice pearl bottom, and that's a chunky little spot of bass right there, and probably one of the best blow-ups we've had all day. So typically a deal on this lake, if there's an isolated dock, it's usually a really good dock to throw at. And he followed all the way out. That was cool. He never gave up on it. But one thing I just switched to, I've been throwing that Yo-Zuri popper, and I just had another blow up. Been throwing that Yo-Zuri popper, and you know, had some pretty good bites this morning and had some good swirls, but they kind of missed it. But this Yo-Zuri pencil, you can just work it a lot quicker. Oh man, I just had another really nice one behind it. Oh, they're all over it. Those are all fish following it in. I mean, those are all fish. Probably, I don't know, 20 fish probably just follow that thing in. We got something for them though. A little Yo-Zuri 3DRX Flat Heavy Minnow. It's kind of a jerk bait, kind of like a twitch bait. Just something really, and there's one right there. I mean, first cast. Not a giant, but hey, we just had a lot of fish. Follow that topwater in, threw that in there, and hey, they couldn't stand it. That is a brand new bait, and honestly, probably one of my first casts with it too, and that's a fish. So I have a lot of high hopes for that. For this bait. I'm gonna win a lot of money on that thing. Cool. There's about 100 under that dock, so maybe we just sit here and just catch them. What's cool about it being so heavy, even when it's at the boat, it almost works like a jigging spoon. I mean, you can pop it right here and they're still all over it. Might have to let them set back up under that dock though. Just picked up just a little drop shot and see if we can catch another one. On this, I'm actually throwing Yo-Zuri Super Fluoro. It's a really good leader line, and I'm using just 8-pound test. I'm putting 10-pound Yo-Zuri Super braid as my main line. That braid really gives you really good castability, and it also gives you really good sense. It makes it really sensitive as well. So I can detect them bites as it's falling. Because this wacky rig, a lot of times you just let it sink slow. I'm leaving a little bit of a bow in my line, and that braid is going to be sensitive enough. When one bites, it's just going to be a tick. And it's high vis, it's yellow. I can also see the bites a lot of times before I even feel them. But I'll just kind of shake it through there. And it definitely pays to have really good line when doing this, because you're around a lot of cables. I'm using that fluorocarbon leader so they can't see it. But I also really like that braid as well, because like I said, you get that sensitivity and you get that castability with it as well. It's kind of been a tough morning. We've caught a few little ones here and there and had a few good ones swirl on it. We want to just kind of keep an open mind. This is real. I mean, this is summertime fishing, the heat of the summer. When the water gets to the mid 80s, like, it gets tough. So kind of my next thought, we're going to hit some isolated rock piles, some isolated brush piles, and get a little bit off the bank and try that out, and just try a couple different things. Keep an open mind. Going to still try that topwater deal as we get into shade lines. Now's the time of day when the shade lines really seem to get really good anyway. So we'll try that still, but going to hit some brush, some rock, and see how that works out. Just made a move up one of the rivers, looking for a little bit cooler water temp. But we're going to stick with that Yo-Zuri popper for now. See if we can get one of them 4 or 5 pounders. Oh, got him. Man, these fish are healthy too. They're full of shad, but they still can't turn that popper down. And he has got him a mouthful of trebles. Yo-Zuri hook's got him really good. Another nice little chunky fish. Healthy. I actually just pulled up Google Earth, or it was actually Apple Maps is what it was, and this lake right here is a lake they do a drawdown on. And I noticed when looking at the map, there was like a little wing dam right here. You got kind of a shallow flat, it's all like 3 foot deep, and then there's like a pond that's probably, I don't know, 6, 7 foot deep, and then a hard spot on it. And but you can tell it's real flat, and there's kind of an arch. So I think it's an old wing dam or an old pond dam. And about to put on a medium diving, like a little 1.5 MR is kind of what I'm thinking. And they're obviously feeding on a lot of shad, so I'm gonna put on a shad color, either sexy shad or, there we go, that's one of my favorites right here. Just something really, really that matches the hatch really good. So I'm gonna try that a few casts, and I bet I catch a few because there's a pile of them down there. So what I'm doing is I'm sitting south of the target I'm throwing at. Ooh, there's a bite right there. Sitting down current of it. The current's coming this way, so I always like to sit below it, throw upriver, and bring it down naturally with the current. Now, with that being said, I will change angles, especially while cranking. But, I like to at least start, sitting downriver and throwing upriver. I just feel like it gives it the most natural presentation, and it just makes it look like just a little bait fish swimming down the lake. So there's a really good looking rock pile right there. I'm trying to reel it through there quick. Just like I did, I just hit it off a rock. Actually just had one slap at it there too. Tried to hit it off a rock and get a reaction bite. I mean, that's what it's all about, is getting a reaction bite. So whatever the cover is, whether it's rock, grass, wood, I'm trying to really let it hit it, get down in that stuff, and then deflect off of it. And what you usually see while doing this, sometimes it takes them a second to get fired up, but if you can ever get them going, a lot of times with a crankbait, you can just get them biting every single cast once they get fired up. So that's the plan. If we can figure out what angle they like, make that perfect cast, and then hopefully catch a bunch of them. And if they won't bite the crankbait, we'll go back to the finesse stuff. But I really like to throw a crankbait because a lot of times it'll get the biggest bite out of a school, and it's one of them deals you can just catch a bunch of fish really quick. So just wanted to kind of show y'all what I look for when using my you know, Google Earth and Apple Maps and stuff like that. You know, that spot right there, it was out in front of a dock. You had a road bed, which you can tell here, you know, this is just kind of a big flat, but like that right there, that's irregular. That's way too straight to naturally happen. And those fish were sitting right off the tip of it. And there's a few fish kind of on this side of it as well, and they wouldn't move back and forth. But as you can tell, you got kind of a deeper, maybe an old pond area, kind of a ditch that comes through. They're sitting right in that area right there, and that's what we called them on. If you don't have, you know, all these fancy electronics and stuff, you know, at home you can get on this mapping, whether it's Google Earth, Apple Maps, and there's a few other platforms as well. You know, when I go to every single one of my Elite Series tournaments, if there's a drawdown at all on the lake, I will get on my mapping and I'll spend hours just studying it, you know. I found so many sneaky little brush piles, little rock piles, little wing dams just like that a lot of people overlook, and it's something that we can all look at as long as you have access to the internet or, you know, have an iPhone or really any phone. So it's something, you know, that I really spent a lot of time doing. It's definitely paid off. Guys got another one. We're hooked up. Oh, he jetted through it. That was cool though. I'm gonna keep getting back in there. Lose one. Key just to keep firing over and over and over and over again. But you know, one thing, there's one there too. That's why you get back in there quick. But you know, one thing about this lake, oh, there's one with them. Oh, I almost had two. There's a lot bigger one with them. Oh, eat it, eat it, eat it. He swirled on it. Oh my gosh. He's still, oh, we got it. I got them both. I got them both. Big one, watch out. Stay on there, fish. Got them both. Got them both. Stay on there. Stay on there, fish. Stay on there. Hey, we'll take it. The small one came off, but the big one got it. Oh my gosh, that was sick. Holy cow, that's a good one. That's one of our better fish so far. Hey, 2 at a time on the 1.5 MR. That's how you do it. If you see there's 2 on it, go for the big one. Hey, and we got her, dude. That is a good fish. I mean, that is a stud, bro. Let's go. Heck yeah. Dude, let's go. And then I saw that bigger one, and like I just kind of let him swim and he got it. There's one. That's a good one too. It's not a huge one, but it's a good one. No, he's not that big. He's just got a mouthful. Decent one though. You know, went into today with kind of an open mind. Had, you know, 7 or 8 different rods tied on, and started off, you know, early morning throwing some top water. We threw the new Yo-Zuri popper, a couple of the new colors in it, a couple of the new colors in the Yo-Zuri pencil as well. And I caught some fish, had some really good blow-ups, had a couple of missed opportunities, and then we kind of just bounced around. You know, we tried fishing some flooded timber, but what really ended up being the deal as the day, you know, really warmed up was picking up that 1.5 MR. That's the Yo-Zuri 3DB series. Like I said, the water's pretty clear out here, so I just went with a natural shad color. That's what these fish are feeding on. 12-pound Yo-Zuri T7 fluorocarbon, and just started covering, you know, a lot of these little high spots, little rock piles, little ditches leading out of spawning pockets, and man, we ran into like 4 or 5 really good schools of fish and caught them almost every cast and about every one of them. So just goes to show, you know, in the summertime, it's good to have, you know, several different baits on the deck. You know, there's brim spawning up shallow, there's mayflies hatching up shallow, you're kind of on the tail end of a shad spawn, so you need your topwater on, especially early in the morning. And then we went with that 1.5 MR. So that was the deal today, man. We had a great day, probably caught 30, 40 fish, and hey, it was a fun time.
Be sure to like and subscribe, because we're going to be bringing content to you on a weekly basis for both fresh and saltwater to show you the quality of our products, how to use them, and how to make yourself a better fisherman by picking up Yo-Zuri line and lures. Go and pick them up, like and subscribe, fish the best, fish Yo-Zuri.